Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. YouTube gives me the opportunity to be able to see where my views or viewers are, the location. So I like statistics, I like numbers, and I'm looking into these kind of things. So YouTube, this channel allows me, prepares certain statistics for me. And one of these statistics shows where my viewers are from, like Indonesia, China, United States of America, Canada, even the cities as a proportion. California as a city and as a state. They show me Canada, they show me Great Britain, they show me in Great Britain where is and what hours you guys are watching me. So I know kind of like proportionately who's from where and what. So therefore I know my audience, and Germans, French, Americans, Canadians, English people, and others from the Great Britain, Australia, Indonesia, and many others. I have a lot of people watching me from different parts of this world, even from everywhere, every continent, but I know the one with the eyes. So with that being said, I kind of know who's who, what's what. I don't know who you are, where you're at, like pinpointed, but I know the proportion. Why am I starting with this? I'm starting with this because this article is talking about something that you guys can relate to. I'm pretty sure that each country that you live in, your country had or has in the past, has currently a problem with a neighboring country. That is, let's say India has a problem with Pakistan, India has a problem with India, with China, all right? Romania has a problem with Hungary has a problem with Romania, you know. Even if you want to take it differently, you know, Great Britain or England has a problem with France. Germany has a problem with France. France has a problem with Germany. Spain does not have a problem with France, for instance. You know, they share, but they don't have a problem. So I know who's who, what's what. Looking historically, we know who likes whom and who don't like whom. Now I have this article, and it's about Zelensky, the elected president of Ukraine. I have to say that because that's a reality, it's a fact. I like it or not, I have to say it, it's a fact. So this article comes from Ukrinform, from today, August 4th, 2022, and this is the title. Zelensky, there can be no condition under which any Russian attack on Ukraine becomes justified. All right, so I will repeat that because I'm going to read the whole article. You got the idea. Zelensky says that there can be no condition under which Russian attack on Ukraine becomes justified. Okay. Well, let me, you know, let's get the example first of United States of America, my fellow Americans. Let's say there are some Americans, let's say, living in Mexico, at the border. You know, they are over there. They choose to live over there. Whatever. I'm not going to get into historical facts or events. So they're over there, and let's say in Mexico. And you can use the same thing. Let's say instead of United States, you put India and then Pakistan. Pakistan is Mexico, India is United States, or vice versa. I don't pick sides here. This is just an analogy, an example. Or Romania, Hungary, okay? It's the same thing. Or Poland, everybody else. Okay? Just like that. So let's go like this. So in this case, I will use United States and Mexico. But you can, all of you guys, in those countries, you have, as I said before at the beginning of this video, your country had, and you have a little animosity against a certain neighbor, and they have it against you. Don't tell me it doesn't happen, because at the border, this border would be like this, sometimes it used to be like that, overlapped, and people live on both sides. Okay, so let's get United States. So Americans live in Mexico, Mexicans live in the United States, and all of a sudden Mexican government, democracy, freedom, and all that. Okay, no problem. And then you have a coup d'etat. You have a minority backed by the Chinese, and they overthrow the elected elected officials, elected government of Mexico, democratically elected, with the help of the Chinese, and they installed their own people over there. And those people are, let's say, I don't know, whatever they are. They are Mexicans, but they overthrew the elected. So they are illegitimate, all right? Illegitimate because they took power by force, not by democratic means. And it's democracy, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So all of a sudden, the Americans who live, the American population living at the border in Mexico says, you know what, we don't recognize those kind of people. Let's say some, I don't know how it's divided in Mexico, in cantons, no, in counties, no. So it's that administrative little localities, you know. So they say, you know what, we're not going to recognize that government that just destroyed and killed whatever, and now it's in power. What the is this? Those guys say, well, you have to. And these guys say, no, we will not. And we will ask for a little bit of autonomy under this, whatever becomes now Mexico with you guys in charge. And those guys in charge decide, being Mexicans, they say, you know what, from now on, the American population that they just want to have a little bit of autonomy because we took power illegally, cannot have radio stations in English, cannot have schools in English, and cannot have many things in English. And those guys, the Americans at the border in Mexico, said, you know what, we will try to get an autonomy here within Mexico. Now the guys who took power in Mexico says, no, you won't. And they sent the Mexican military to kill you. The American population, minority, in Mexico, who decided that they do not recognize the illegal government that took power. Okay, now they start fighting, and then these guys start fighting back. Now what should United States do? Americans, with Americans being killed across the border. What do you think? He has two options: not do anything or do something. Well, you say, okay guys, hey Mexico City, the illegal guys, we don't recognize you, take it easy. They don't take it easy. They kill your American population in Mexico. So you will try to support them. And I go back to the Mexican-American War, and you get Texas in there. It was the same scenario. A little different, but if you are familiar with history, you understand what I'm talking about. So then you would say, hey guys, you're killing my people, because they're Americans living in Mexicans of American descent and so on, American speaking people, blah, 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 blah. And you try to defend them, wouldn't you? If not, I don't think you're right. I think you're kind of a So you're gonna intervene, and you try to block the Mexican government, the illegal Mexican government, to kill the minority that is American over there, that American English-speaking Anglo-Saxon minority in Mexico that's been living over there for, I don't know, generations and generations. I'm not going to go into who owned that and all that and Rio Grande and blah, blah, blah. No. So what would you do? You probably would intervene when you see that they are killed, right? The United States would intervene and say, you know what, we can't allow that to happen. So is that a justification to intervene? I think it is. Well, put that in the context of United States being Russia and Mexico being Ukraine. Is there a justification, a reason, an provoked reason why Russia could invade Ukraine? I think it is. Isn't it? Well, I try to make it as simplistic as possible and as evidential as possible, so we don't beat around the bushes and we get lost in the nonsense. This is what happened in 2014. And besides, in 2014, that was the Minsk Protocol signed by Ukrainian government, the illegitimate, however you want to call it, recognized by the handlers, by China. You know what I mean? They signed a document with these counties, cantons, where the English-speaking Anglo-Saxon minority is, and so on. And they had to follow certain steps, democratic steps. And they didn't, and they kept pounding the Anglo-Saxons living in Mexico. And they start killing them, according to the Americans, Russians, is about 10 to 15,000 people killed by the Mexican illegitimate government with the elections and all that after that. Now, is that a reason to intervene when you see your people slaughtered by the other guys? I think it is. Put it in the context of, let's say, Germany and France. France is Mexico, or France is Ukraine, and Germany is Russia. And France has a coup d'etat and start killing the Germans in Ruhr area, or Rhine area, Ruhr, okay, where you have the problem over there. So let's say you have that. Should Germany intervene? Should Germany help their Germans being slaughtered by the illegitimate government in Paris? I think they should. So is that justification for Germany to intervene if they can, if they have enough this and that and this? Yes. So when these guys are talking about, like Zelensky here, that's unjustified, well, I think, and this is one justification, one. We can go to NATO justification, we can go to armament justification, we can go to Nazis, with Nazi ideology being spread in certain areas in Ukraine, and those are facts. It's not me saying it, putting it out of my butt. You're 2 clicks away, click and find out. Azov regiment or battalion, go and check it out. There's still videos on YouTube, there's still articles on the web. You can access and find names, locations, and they are for 2014, 15, 16, 17, and so on. It's not like they disappeared. So you see, when I hear these things and I read these things, how should I assess Zelensky's character? How? And this is about Zelensky. It's not about Putin, Hitler, or Tom Jones. It's about Zelensky. How should I assess his fight, his hero status that he's got? No, he's not he's not that guy for me. I'm sorry, he's not. And I'm not the only one saying that. I'm not the only one saying that. But if you say that, you would be called this and that and that. I don't care. I stay by what the guy represents through his actions and through his statements. You can say, well, his actions are, he's a hero. By what? By having Ukrainian nation destroyed because of those guys telling him to do so? This could have been avoided if the leadership of Ukraine, would have implemented the Minsk agreements from 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. They didn't do anything about it. Did they try? No. Why? Maybe it's because they want to get to this point. I'm just fantasizing here. So yes, I think I can find many justifications for why those guys would, in their brain, crazy as they are, the Russians, intervene in Ukraine. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.